Before the birth of Islam, the vast Arabian Peninsula was a crossroads of empires and ideas. It was a land of sprawling deserts, bustling trade routes, and ancient cities. Merchants traveled from Persia, from Rome, and from India, carrying spices, textiles, and stories. But they also carried something else of immense value: their money. In this early era, the people of Arabia did not mint their own coins. Instead, the silver that flowed through their markets came from distant lands. The powerful Sasanian Empire to the east and the Byzantine Empire to the northwest were the primary sources of these precious metal discs, which became the lifeblood of commerce across the region. These foreign coins were more than just tools for buying and selling. They were silent storytellers carrying the faces of distant kings and symbols of powerful empires. The most common silver coin was the Sasanian drachm. It was a thin, wide piece of silver, bearing the image of the Persian Shahanshah, or King of Kings, on one side. On the other, it often depicted a Zoroastrian fire altar with two attendants. The people of Arabia accepted these coins, trusted their weight, and valued their silver content. They became so familiar that their designs were a part of everyday life, a constant reminder of the powerful civilizations that existed just beyond the horizon of their own desert sands. The Byzantine siliqua and other Roman silver coins also found their way into Arabian markets, though they were generally less common than their Persian counterparts. These coins carried the portraits of Roman emperors and Christian symbols, representing another sphere of influence. For the tribes of Arabia, the origin of the coin mattered less than its material. Silver was silver. Its purity and weight were its true measure of worth. This reliance on foreign currency established a deep-rooted system where the value of money was tied directly to the precious metal it contained, a principle that would echo through the centuries and shape the future of currency in the land. So, as we look back into the mists of time, we see a picture of a land without a national currency, yet one where trade flourished. The silver coins of Persia and Rome were the universal language of commerce. They passed from hand to hand in the markets of Mecca and the oases of the Hijaz. This period set the stage for what was to come. It created a foundation of understanding about money, value, and the importance of silver. It was a world waiting for a new chapter, a chapter that would begin with the rise of a new faith that would forever change the destiny of Arabia and the world. With the dawn of Islam in the 7th century, a powerful new force emerged from the Arabian Peninsula. The early Muslim community, under the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad and the first caliphs, began to expand, creating a vast and unified state. However, as this new civilization grew, it faced a practical challenge. It had no currency of its own. The economic machinery of the nascent Islamic Caliphate continued to run on the very same coins that had been used for centuries. The silver Sasanian drachms from Persia. These coins were familiar, trusted, and readily available, making them the logical choice for a new state focused on consolidation and expansion. But these coins carried the symbols of another faith and another empire. The Sasanian drachms featured the portrait of the Zoroastrian ruler Khosrow II and a fire altar, a central symbol of the Zoroastrian religion. For the early Muslims, this presented a unique situation. While they used the coins, they needed to assert their own identity upon them. The solution was simple, yet profound. Instead of melting down the old coins and starting from scratch, which would have been a massive undertaking, they began to modify them. They kept the original Sasanian design but added their own mark. This modification was a small but significant act of appropriation. The Muslims began counterstamping the Sasanian coins with short, powerful Arabic inscriptions. Phrases like Bismillah, meaning in the name of God, Lillah, or for God, and Jayyid, meaning good, were stamped onto the margins of the coins. This was a declaration. It was a way of saying, this coin, though born of another empire, now serves a new master and a new faith. These adapted coins, known as Arab Sasanian drachms, represent a fascinating transition. They were a bridge between the old world and the new, blending Persian imagery with the foundational words of Islam. These coins tell a story of practicality and faith. The early Islamic leaders understood the importance of a stable economy and did not want to disrupt the flow of commerce by suddenly introducing an unfamiliar currency. By adapting the existing Sasanian drachms, they ensured a smooth economic transition while simultaneously spreading the message of Islam. Every time a coin was exchanged, the name of God in Arabic was passed from one hand to another. It was a subtle but constant reminder of the new spiritual and political reality that now governed the land, laying the groundwork for a truly unique Islamic currency that was soon to come. The Islamic Caliphate continued to grow, stretching from Spain to India. The era of adapting foreign coins was coming to an end. The Umayyad Caliphate, centered in Damascus, had reached a point of stability and power where it needed a currency that was entirely its own. The Caliph Abd al-Malik Ibrahim Ma'mari Marwan, a visionary leader, recognized that a unique coinage was not just an economic tool, but a powerful symbol of sovereignty and religious identity. Around the year 698 of the Common Era, he initiated one of the most important monetary reforms in history. He ordered the creation of the first purely Islamic silver coin, the dirham. This new coin was a radical departure from everything that came before it. Abd al-Malik commanded that all images of rulers and all religious symbols from other faiths be removed. The Sasanian kings and Byzantine emperors were gone. The Zoroastrian fire altars and Christian crosses vanished. In their place was the pure, unadorned beauty of Arabic calligraphy. The new silver dirham was a coin of words, not pictures. It was designed to carry the central message of Islam. This aniconic design, a design without images, was a bold statement, reflecting the Islamic principle of avoiding the depiction of living beings. The design of the Umayyad dirham was standardized and elegant. On one side, the center of the coin carried the kalima, the fundamental declaration of Islamic faith, La ilaha illa Allah, wahdahu la sharika lah, meaning there is no God but God, He is one, He has no partner. Around the margin, another inscription stated where and when the coin was minted, a practice that provides historians with invaluable information. The other side of the coin featured a passage from the Quran, typically Surah Al-Ikhlas, which emphasizes the oneness of God. It was a pocket-sized sermon, a declaration of faith cast in pure silver. The introduction of the silver dirham was more than just a currency reform. It was a cultural revolution. It unified the vast empire under a single, recognizable monetary system. From the markets of Córdoba in Spain to the trading posts of Samarkand in Central Asia, the dirham became the standard for exchange. Its consistent weight and purity made it one of the most trusted and stable currencies of the medieval world. For the Arabian Peninsula, the birthplace of Islam, the dirham was a symbol of the faith's journey from a small community to a global civilization. It was the first true Islamic silver coin, and its legacy would echo for 1,000 years. After the fall of the Umayyad Caliphate, the heart of the Islamic world shifted. The Abbasids rose to power, moving the capital to Baghdad. Their empire, and the many dynasties that followed, continued to mint silver dirhams based on the revolutionary Umayyad design. For the next several centuries, a river of silver flowed across the Middle East, North Africa, and beyond. Dynasties like the Fatimids in Egypt, the Ayyubids, and later the Mamluks, all produced their own versions of the silver dirham. While the calligraphy styles changed and the names of different rulers appeared, the fundamental concept of an image-free, inscription-based coin remained. Throughout this long period, from the 8th century to the 15th century, the Arabian Peninsula remained a place of immense spiritual importance as the cradle of Islam. Millions of pilgrims traveled to the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. However, it was not a center of political or economic power in the same way as Baghdad, Cairo, or Damascus. As a result, the region did not have its own state-run mints. The people of Arabia continued to do what they had always done. They used the coins that were brought to them. The silver dirhams that filled their pouches were minted in distant cities under the authority of whichever empire held sway at the time. Imagine a merchant in Jeddah in the 10th century. His purse might contain silver dirhams, minted by the Abbasids in Baghdad, alongside coins from the Fatimid rulers in Cairo. A few centuries later, a pilgrim in Mecca might pay for lodging with silver struck by the Ayyubids, the dynasty of the famous Saladin. Later still, Mamluk coins from Egypt would become the dominant currency. For the inhabitants of Arabia, the specific ruler or dynasty named on the coin was less important than the coin's silver content and its acceptance in the marketplace. The peninsula was a passive recipient of the monetary systems of its more powerful neighbors. This long era highlights a crucial point in the story of Saudi coinage. For nearly a millennium after the first Islamic dirham was created, no coins were specifically Saudi or even Hijazi in their origin. The land was a thoroughfare for the currencies of empires. The silver that passed through its markets told stories of distant caliphs, sultans, and shifting powers. While Arabia gave the world the faith that inspired these coins, it did not produce them locally. It was a user, not a maker. This long period of using foreign Islamic silver would only come to an end when another great empire turned its attention to the holy cities of the Hijaz. The arrival of the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century marked a monumental shift in the monetary history of the Arabian Peninsula. After conquering Egypt in 1517, the Ottoman Sultan Selim I extended his authority over the Hijaz region, which included the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. For the first time in history, a major power decided to establish mints within Arabia itself. This was a hugely significant development. No longer was the region just a passive user of foreign currency. Now, coins would be struck on its own soil, bearing the name of the ruling sultan and the mark of the mint city. The primary silver coin minted by the Ottomans in the Hijaz was the kirsch. The kirsch, also known as the piastre, became the backbone of the local economy for centuries. These coins were minted in several cities, but the most important and prestigious mint was established in Jeddah, the bustling port city that served as the gateway to Mecca. Later, mints also operated in Mecca and Medina, although their production was often less consistent. Having a mint in the Hijaz was a powerful statement of Ottoman sovereignty and their role as the protectors of Islam's holiest sites. It was a way of projecting power and prestige directly into the heart of the Islamic world. The design of the Ottoman kirsch was distinct from the earlier, purely calligraphic dirhams. While it still featured beautiful Arabic calligraphy, it had a unique stylistic element known as the tugra. The tugra was an elaborate, stylized monogram of the reigning Ottoman sultan's name and titles. It was a complex and artistic signature that served as the ultimate symbol of imperial authority. On the other side of the coin, the mint location, such as Duriba fi Chide, meaning struck in Jeddah, and the year of the Sultan's accession to the throne, were inscribed. These coins were unmistakably Ottoman, yet they were also the first to be locally produced in Arabia. The minting of Ottoman silver in the Hijaz lasted for nearly 400 years, right up until the collapse of the empire in the early 20th century. The kirsch became a familiar part of daily life for generations of Arabians. It was the money used by pilgrims to buy provisions, by merchants in the souks, and by local officials. This long period of local production under Ottoman rule created a new monetary reality. For the first time, coins were being made in Arabia, for Arabia. This set a critical precedent. It demonstrated that a local currency was possible, planting a seed that would later blossom into the dream of a truly independent national coinage. As the 20th century began, the Ottoman Empire was weakening, and a new power was rising from the heart of Arabia. Abdulaziz Ibn Saud, the dynamic and visionary leader of the House of Saud, embarked on a quest to unify the disparate tribes and regions of the peninsula. From his ancestral home in Najd, he began a series of campaigns that would, over 3 decades, lead to the formation of the modern Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. As his territory expanded, Ibn Saud faced the immense challenge of governing a vast and diverse land. One of the most pressing issues was the chaotic state of the economy. There was no single unified currency. In the lands that Ibn Saud conquered, a confusing mix of coins circulated. Ottoman kirsch were still in use, especially in the Hijaz. Indian rupees, brought by merchants and pilgrims from British India, were common along the Persian Gulf Coast. British sovereigns made of gold were also present. But perhaps the most dominant and trusted silver coin of the era was not an official government currency at all. It was the Maria Theresa thaler, a large silver coin first minted in Austria in 1780. For over a century, this coin, bearing the portrait of the Austrian Empress Maria Theresa, had become the de facto trade currency of the Middle East and parts of Africa. The Maria Theresa thaler was loved for one simple reason: its consistency. It had a reliable weight and a high silver content that never changed. European mints continued to strike the coin with the frozen date of 1780 long after the empress had passed away, simply to meet the enormous demand for it in the region. For the people of Arabia, including the Bedouin tribes, the thaler was the ultimate store of wealth and the most trusted medium of exchange. A man's fortune was often counted not in official currency, but in the number of Maria Theresa thalers he possessed. This reliance on a foreign, centuries-old coin highlighted the urgent need for a new, national currency. As Abdulaziz Ibn Saud consolidated his power, he understood that a modern, unified state needed its own money. A national currency was not just a matter of economic convenience, it was a fundamental symbol of independence and national pride. Relying on the coins of old empires, whether Ottoman or Austrian, was a relic of a bygone era. To truly be a sovereign nation, the kingdom needed a coin that bore its own name and its own symbols. The dream of a Saudi silver rial was born out of this desire for unity and self-determination, a coin that would replace the jumble of foreign silver and finally give the new nation its own monetary identity. The moment of monetary independence finally arrived in 1927. After unifying the Hijaz with his domains in Najd, Abdulaziz Ibn Saud was proclaimed king of the Hijaz and Najd and its dependencies. One of his first major acts as the ruler of this expanded realm was to authorize the creation of a truly Saudi Arabian coin. The result was the first Saudi silver rial. This was not an adapted coin or a foreign coin. It was a new currency, designed and minted for the new state. Its introduction was a landmark event, a powerful declaration that a new nation had truly arrived on the world stage. The design of the 1927 silver rial was simple, elegant, and packed with meaning. It followed the Islamic tradition of an iconic, text-based design. On one side, the coin proudly displayed the name of the ruler, Abdulaziz al Saud, and his title, King of the Hijaz and Sultan of Najd. The other side featured the name of the mint city, al-Qura, the mother of cities, which was a traditional and respectful name for Mecca. The coin also included the denomination 1 rial and the Hijri year of its minting, 1346. It was struck from silver with a purity similar to the trusted Ottoman Kirsch and Maria Theresa thaler to ensure public acceptance. This first Saudi rial was more than just money. It was a tangible piece of national identity that people could hold in their hands. For the first time, a coin circulated across the land that was entirely Arabian, bearing the name of an Arab king and minted in the holy city of Mecca. It was a symbol of the end of centuries of reliance on foreign powers. The government took great care to ensure the coin's weight and silver content were reliable, building trust among a populace that was accustomed to valuing metal over monarchy. The new rial quickly began to replace the Ottoman, Indian, and Austrian coins that had dominated the economy for so long. Over the next few years, the design of the Saudi silver rial evolved. After the official proclamation of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in 1935, new coins were issued. These rials, minted from 1935 until the early 1950s, became truly iconic. They introduced symbols that are now synonymous with the kingdom. The coins featured a central design of a palm tree above two crossed swords, representing prosperity and justice. The full name of the kingdom, Al-Mamlaka Al-Arabiya As-Saudiya, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, was inscribed in a circle around the emblem. This powerful imagery, combined with its high silver content, made the Saudi rial a respected and stable currency throughout the region. The mid-20th century brought unprecedented change to Saudi Arabia and the world. The discovery of vast oil reserves was transforming the kingdom's economy at a breathtaking pace. This newfound wealth created new opportunities, but also new economic challenges. At the same time, the global financial system was undergoing a fundamental shift. For thousands of years, the value of money had been tied to the intrinsic value of the precious metals it contained, like silver and gold. However, after World War II, nations around the world began moving away from this system towards modern fiat currencies, where money's value is based on government decree and public trust. For Saudi Arabia, continuing to mint coins from pure silver became increasingly impractical. The price of silver on the global market began to rise significantly. Soon the value of the silver metal contained within a 1 rial coin was worth more than its face value of 1 rial. This created a classic economic problem. People would be incentivized to hoard the coins or melt them down to sell the silver for a profit, causing the coins to disappear from circulation. A currency cannot function if it is more valuable as scrap metal than as money. The government realized that a change was necessary to maintain a stable and functional monetary system. The kingdom needed a currency that could circulate freely without the risk of being melted down. The solution was to follow the global trend and decouple the currency's value from its metallic content. In the 1950s, Saudi Arabia began to phase out its silver coinage. The last silver riyals for general circulation were minted around this time. They were gradually replaced with coins and banknotes made from less precious materials. This was a monumental transition. It marked the end of a tradition that stretched back thousands of years in Arabia, to the very first Sasanian drachms that entered the region. The era of silver money was officially over. This shift was not unique to Saudi Arabia. It was a worldwide phenomenon. The move away from silver and gold standards allowed governments more flexibility in managing their economies. They could control the money supply to combat inflation or stimulate growth, something that was difficult when the currency was tied to the supply of a physical commodity. For the average person in Saudi Arabia, the change meant getting used to new coins that felt lighter and different. The age of sound money, where a coin's worth was in the metal itself, gave way to the age of modern finance, where its worth was guaranteed by the strength and stability of the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. Today, if you look at the coins used in Saudi Arabia, you will see a familiar sight. The 1 riyal and 50 halala coins have a bright silvery appearance. They shine in the light and feel solid in your hand. However, this silver color is a reflection of modern metallurgy, not precious metal. The contemporary Saudi riyal is not made of silver. It is typically composed of a combination of metals like copper and nickel. This blend creates a durable, cost-effective coin that has the visual appearance of silver, maintaining a link to the nation's monetary heritage while being perfectly suited for a modern economy. The designs of these modern coins carry forward the legacy of the kingdom's identity. The iconic national emblem of the palm tree and crossed swords remains a central feature, just as it was on the silver riyals of the 1930s and 40s. The name of the reigning king and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are clearly inscribed in elegant Arabic calligraphy. The coins continue to serve as small but powerful symbols of national pride, connecting the present day to the history of the nation's unification. They are a daily reminder of the journey from a collection of disparate regions to a unified modern state. The design DNA of the first Saudi riyals is still very much alive. In conclusion, the story of silver coinage in Saudi Arabia is a mirror reflecting the nation's own epic journey. It began with the use of foreign Sasanian and Byzantine silver, a time before a unified Arab identity was forged in metal. The rise of Islam brought the first adaptation, with Arabic words stamped onto Persian coins, followed by the revolutionary purely calligraphic Umayyad Dirham. For centuries, Arabia was a land where the silver of distant empires circulated, until the Ottomans established the first local mints in the Hijaz. After the unification, Abdulaziz Ibn Saud fulfilled the dream of a national currency, culminating in the landmark creation of the first true Saudi silver riyal in 1927. This coin, and its successors, with the palm and swords, represented the pinnacle of Saudi silver, a symbol of independence and stability. The economic realities of the mid-20th century led the kingdom to move away from precious metals, ending the long era of silver currency. Today's coins may be silver in color only, but they carry the weight of this rich history. From the ancient drachm to the modern cupronickel riyal, the evolution of coinage tells a sweeping tale of faith, empire, and the birth of a nation. The silver journey has ended, but its legacy is stamped forever on the currency of the kingdom.